Hey all, welcome back to the lab. In this video, we're going to be talking about why I'm shutting down 1,000 checkboxes. So I'm shutting down 1,000 checkboxes, the globally synced checkbox game built with HTMX. And in this post, I'll share what's changing, why, and the future of checkboxes. Alright, so what is this? So 1,000 checkboxes was a website that displayed 1,000 checkboxes. These checkboxes were synced globally, which means that if you check a box, everyone else will see that box as checked. Now under the hood, it's server-side rendered HTML served with F# and Giraffe and uses HTMX to handle the checkbox refreshes. For more on how it's built, you can see the launch post here. And as you can see, it's still up, at least momentarily, to allow you to check, a few more boxes. All right, so why am I shutting this down? Well, at the end of every year, I review my projects and decide what I want to work on and shut down. 1,000 checkboxes ended up on the list of things to close. Now, there are a few reasons for this. The first is the cost. Hosting a site like this is pretty cheap, especially since I self-host on a VPS with Coolify, but it's not zero. And I think I pay about $25 a month for a Hetzner box and then $5 a month for Coolify Cloud. And 1,000 checkboxes takes like literally zero processing power, and so if you amortized it, it'd be like a few pennies a month, I think. So monetarily, it's not that bad, but there are other costs associated with it. And that brings us to the second reason, which is really simplicity. Every bit of code that you have in prod incurs a bit of overhead if you need to ever fix it or update it, and that's why there's the saying that the best code is the code that you never write. And this isn't the most popular project. It's not really getting much traffic, and so I don't think the ROI is necessarily worth running this bit of code since nobody's really using it. Now, the third reason is that there's just a better version out there. So 1 million checkboxes is basically an upgraded version of the site with 1,000 times more checkboxes, and so there's really not much reason to keep both running. In fact, 1 million checkboxes actually started out as a fork of 1,000 checkboxes and then just added things like pagination, indexing, better caching, conditional re-renders, and all sorts of stuff like that to make it just, a much better version of this thing. And so I'm shutting down 1,000 checkboxes because it doesn't really need to exist anymore. All right, so what if you still want to check boxes? Oh, well, you really like to check boxes, huh? I mean, of course, that's why I built this site, right? Now never fear, 1 million checkboxes is ready and willing to serve all of your box checking needs. In fact, 1,000 checkboxes should redirect to it, assuming I've set up these URL redirects correctly. So your box checking can continue. They'll just be about, 1,000 times more boxes. And I think I've set these URL redirects correctly, but they've been set for like, an hour or two and we're still not redirecting yet. So I don't know, we'll have to see when this actually ends up getting shut down and redirecting over. Anyway, I want to say thanks to everyone who checked boxes during this experiment, and hopefully more box checking in the future with 1 million checkboxes. Now, if you like this post, you might also like 1 million checkboxes, globally synced data with HTMX, more details on how I scaled this from 1,000 to 1 million with HTMX without, totally wrecking your bandwidth. Might also be interested in the state of HTMX 2024, some thoughts on kind of how this places in the industry, if there's a future, why you should use it, and stuff like that. And then finally, the HAM stack, a simple scalable tech stack for building modern web apps fast and cheap, which is kind of my philosophy for building web apps these days and how I build a lot of these kind of one-off prototypes. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.